Hi, I'm Jolie, and today I wanted to talk about why you don't have a purpose. Or more specifically, I want to talk about defining that for yourself. And then at the root of it, I really want to discuss internal locus of control and external locus of control. So, internal and external locus of control are psychological perspectives or terms, and they discuss basically how you perceive control. So, the internal locus of control is making everything that you do or everything that happens to you a result of your own actions. So, someone with an internal locus of control, for example, if they fail a test, they will blame themselves for not studying. And for all the successes that they experience, they will also blame themselves, or they will give credit to themselves, versus someone with an external locus of control. So, an external locus of control is when you believe that other outside forces, other people, things outside of yourself have control over your life, the outcomes of your life, what you're producing, and so on and so forth. So, for example, if someone fails a test and they have an external locus of control, they're not going to take accountability for the lack of studying, not attending class, not being prepared, but they'll blame the professor, they'll blame the test exam like setup. They will try any sort of way to dodge that accountability or dodge ownership, basically. But something funny about this position or being someone with an external locus of control is that when good things happen to them, they will accredit that to themselves. So it's almost like a paradigm or a paradox where they take credit for nothing good or nothing bad, but they'll take all the credit for good things. And the good thing about an internal and external locus of control is that you can actually change which one you experience. I believe personally that it's best to have internal locus of control. It is quite vital for success, in my opinion, to take responsibility and ownership of the things that go on in your life, and to also recognize that outside forces do have a play, but at the end of the day, it is up to you to get the conclusions that you want or to get the results that you want. So, relating this to the discussion of purpose and finding your purpose and having no purpose, I find a lot of the time, especially in like early adulthood, the stage that I'm at right now, a lot of people don't feel like they have a purpose. And a purpose can be so many things. I think a lot of people associate a purpose with a higher calling, something that they're destined to do, something that they're going to spend their whole lives achieving. I feel like that is kind of what people assume a purpose is. And they also assume that people are just born knowing their purpose, or that a purpose is given to you. Some external great being is going to give you a purpose, or something outside of yourself will give you a purpose. But I think the reason why you may feel like you don't have a purpose is because you have not defined it for yourself. You have not defined your purpose for yourself. You have not defined what it means to successfully accomplish this purpose, the steps that you need to take in order to be living in that purpose. I feel like even with myself, before I gave myself the purpose of being in the field of psychology, offering advice, I give myself a lot of purposes, small and big, but they make me feel grounded and concrete within my daily life, from the mundane tasks to the tasks that are quite important. So, yeah, I think we have to define that for ourselves. We can't wait for God or some external thing to define it for ourselves. And not saying that God hasn't given you a purpose. It's just that to get to your true purpose, at least I believe this, to get to your true purpose, you have to first define one for yourself, even if it's not the right thing, because it's that starting point that's actually going to lead you to where you're supposed to be. And I also want to talk about the importance that we give to our purposes, because a purpose can be as big as becoming a medical doctor and finding the cure for cancer, but it could also be wake up every single morning and feel happy and feel grateful to be alive. It's these big and small things that make our lives purposeful. And we don't just have one purpose. We serve many different purposes, and we have many different reasons that we're here right now. And I think that is kind of the basis of like existentialism, where we don't really know why we're here, and we kind of feel that void because it's not clear to us. We're not going to get clarity until we make it clear and define it for ourselves. That, to me, is the crux of the difference between internal and external locus of control. It's the viewpoint at which you're kind of third person observing your life and seeing what has got you to where you are and where you need, or what will take you to that next level. So when you're standing at that third person point of view and you're looking at your life, do you blame old friends? Do you blame the environment you're in? Do you blame the things that are outside of you for where you are? Or do you give credit to the things that are outside of you for where you are? Or are you taking responsibility? Are you giving yourself credit? Are you also criticizing yourself and being critical of the things that you have not accomplished? Those are the two different perspectives. And I want to offer one alternative view of internal locus of control, because this does have a downside. If we are constantly blaming ourselves or putting pressure on ourselves to achieve or for not achieving, I think that is just as detrimental as blaming the outside world for what we're going through. I think if we don't have a balanced perspective or a balanced view on ourselves, we can take a lot of heat and negativity that we don't necessarily deserve, if that makes sense. And yeah, I think this video might be a little short, but I just want to close it out with saying the reason why you may not feel like you have a purpose or you feel aimless is because you have not given yourself, based off of what you feel passionate about, based off of what you're able to do, based off of where you want to be. If you have not given yourself a purpose based off of specific criteria that are unique to your circumstances, you're never actually going to reach your true God-given purpose. With God, if you're religious, but I also think this extends beyond religion. If you set yourself up, the rest will follow. That's how I live my life. If I'm actively putting in the steps, if I'm actively putting in the work and the energy and setting my intention for that purpose, everything kind of just falls into place because you're making movement. But in order to make movement, you have to have a start point and you have to have a destination. And yeah, I wanted to make this video just because it's very daunting, like real life, when you're not living with your parents or when you're not a teenager or even when you're not in school. It's very daunting. And it's even more daunting seeing other people really live in their own purpose and feel like other people are more fulfilled than you. So I wanted to just provide a bit of guidance on how to navigate those feelings and to really give ourselves ownership of where we want our lives to be. It shouldn't be based off of what your parents want, what your friends want, what your partner wants. It should be truly from your own heart and what you desire from yourself without outside input, unless that matters to you. Then if that matters to you, you should include that. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you so much for listening. And I hope to see you in the next one. I hope to be more consistent. I was falling a little behind because I was catching up with school, and yeah, life was a little crazy, but yeah. I love talking to you. And also, if you have any suggestions on things that you would like to hear me talk about, it always helps to get like outside feedback on what people want to see. And it also is fun to think about topics that I haven't already thought about. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.